Hello, everyone, and welcome to a Super Metroid multi-category tournament matchup. We've got Fat Scott and self-proclaimed number one ranked Map Rando player Eddie. I am Idle, and I am joined in commentary by Pirate253. Pirate, how are you doing?
Hey, Idle, how's it going? I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing good. Now, while that Map Rando experience might not help Eddie too much with any percent, he does have a very impressive any percent time. So, even before getting into the Map Rando, say Eddie's would be favored in this matchup, and this is Eddie's pick as well.
Yeah, something top 10, right? I want to say eight in the world, maybe, with a 41-18 for any percent. Definitely also surprised to see this category, as Eddie will definitely have a movement advantage throughout. But it is a tournament.
Yeah, Fat Scott's no slouch with movement either, but Eddie definitely, I mean, that 41 you mentioned, that's on another level. It looks like Scott chose to veto low ice instead, and then Eddie continued with vetoing max GT, which I think he's been vetoing every race.
Okay, fair enough. So we get some of the classics. And excited. I'm actually kind of relieved this is the first one, because I will have somewhat of a clue what I'm talking about as we go.
Yep, although the runners could choose to do different routes, so Eddie, of course, did not get that 41 with the KPDR route. He would have been going for the Phantoon first, the PRKD fastest route. But sometimes you don't go for that in a race situation. PKRD is a little bit more common. But Eddie could just decide to run KPDR if he wants to. He would still have decent chances.
Yeah, we have definitely seen that in tournaments before, Idle.
He probably will run PKRD.
Yeah, Kraid first, it does make the route a lot more consistent. You get an extra E-Tank before going to Lower Norfair, which is just a game changer for your chances down there.
The last time I saw Eddie run PKRD, it was in low ice, and he chose not to get the tank. He went to Kraid, but
really,
I think it was a mistake.
Yeah, I don't think there's any other advantage to be gained from doing Kraid first.
You do get the Varia suit does help with the lava dive.
Oh, true. Yeah, you get Varia. Never mind.
If you're not going for the lava spark, which I expect Eddie will go for that. Oh, pretty synced up here to start. First few rooms are all the same, all the different categories.
Those critical tents in series that we all fight for. It looks like a little miss on a moonfall there by Fat Scott. I actually don't know. Okay, yeah, he does do moonfall. But attempt at the weave, and that'll put him a couple of seconds behind. Nothing crazy, though. As with any route in a vanilla game, no surprises before early supers-ish.
I respect the attempt.
Yeah, just a few seconds difference, nothing crazy. That can easily be made up in climb and or in the BT, or excuse me, the Bounteries fight.
Yep. I was talking about Eddie's route. I'm not actually sure what route Fat Scott is going to run here.
Yeah,
Hundo, he does that like early power bombs route with Hundo, but this is not Hundo, so.
Yeah, I think his time, he's got a 45, I think a high 45 in KPDR, so it's assuming that's what he's going to run today.
Oh, that's a very good time for KPDR.
Yeah, that is. Both these runners are phenomenally fast.
And despite that fast time, it is still the safer route here, especially if you get that Kraid tank. So that will put pressure on Eddie. I mean, it's not like Eddie's knee deep in his any percent grind or something here. So it's you can get hung up in mode.
Oh yeah, and I'm actually excited to see whether he goes up or down at Red Tower there. If you do it, even before you talk about Lower Norfair, you have got Phantoon can kill you fairly easily in new route. Bowling can kill you with no Varia suit if you're not careful. There's definitely places you can get tripped up, and And yeah, it's kind of one and done in an any percent race setting.
With Scott having such a good KPDR time, I would expect Eddie to go Phantom first.
Yeah, maybe a safety save or two in Red Tower, for example.
Maybe. The thing about that Red Tower save is it's so far away from like where it's useful.
Yeah, this is true.
I suspect we won't see any saves except maybe at Turian.
Yeah, and I guess you can't discount too. As a low 41 runner, Eddie can just back off the throttle a little bit and play with a lot more assurance and confidence to improve his consistency, I would assume. Little scammed on the drops for Fat Scott, but nice recovery.
Yeah, both these fights going pretty well. And we'll find out soon enough on the routes, because usually runners will take hits on these pirates coming up for KPDR, and they will missile the pirates if they're going to go Phantom first.
Yes. And yeah, that's, if anyone's unfamiliar, if you are going to Phantom first, your health management, so as it looks like Eddie is, your health management starts now. You're literally trying to avoid every hit. You've got 200 energy to play with, or 199 if I'm being precise. And that those hits for 40 energy by Phantom can make or break you. So every drop and every hit counts.
And Fat Scott taking the hits, it's just slightly faster to go through those pirates, and also you're not relying on any RNG from missile drops that way. And you just don't need that much health to get to Kraid compared to the Phantom, like you said. Yeah, ideally, Kraid is dealing 0 damage, whereas Phantom is almost certainly going to hit you multiple times with flames or just running into you.
Yeah, I don't know many people that wager on a hitless Phantom in any route. Okay, nice clean early supers by both. I think I didn't see Eddie get the D-boost, but still both runners just cooking through any percent right now.
Yep, both under 7 minutes to get that early supers. We'll see Eddie pick up his charge missiles and charge beam here in a moment. And Fat Scott will be in the same room, not too far behind. But this is going to be one of the last times we can gauge them direct. These different routes, they don't truly converge until the Mother Brain 2 fight is over. Because even if Eddie reaches Turian first, he needs to have a good 40-second lead, maybe more than that.
Yeah, I use 40 as... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, that's okay. Because it's he won't have plasma beam, whereas Fat Scott will, and that's going to make for a much faster Mother Brain fight.
Yeah, so 40 is kind of a good handicap that is fairly reliable there, but you're right. Until then, I don't have any other good clues or like benchmarks to say who's going to be ahead at what point.
Yeah, we'll just have to kind of gauge off of movement. It looks like if neither runner makes any significant mistakes, we'd expect Eddie to be a little ahead. And then, of course, his route. Phantom first is 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes faster just because of the routing. So we would expect Eddie to be ahead for that reason as well. But we've got Moat, we've got Metroid. There's a lot of hangups in these Super Metroid runs.
Yeah, when you think about it, 1.5 minutes sounds like a lot. But for perspective, like if you were to lose 1 second in just half the rooms in an any percent route, that's more than 1.5 minutes of difference. So a
lot of rooms. Yep.
Yeah. Everything you're doing in the speed run adds up quick. Okay, that said, looks like a good bombs and a good clean caterpillars up for Eddie.
Yeah, nice super entry from Fat Scott as well.
Oh, nice. Did he get the quick strat, all three?
Yeah, the all three, yep.
I call it the splurge strat, which seems one of the most gratuitous uses of supers in any category.
That's a good Good name here. All right. Eddie setting up for a CWJ. He's got
Look
a good frame
good.
for it.
Oh,
That is a 2-frame window. Not easy.
yeah, we'll see if he goes. Okay, he's going for the in-room CWJ back up. Looks good. And uh-oh. One more. I think depending on how you get that first jump on the in-room, the second jump is a 1 or a 2 frame.
Scott going for that charge +4 super setup. Gets it. And Eddie
Very
is
nice
through.
quick kill and good HBJ. So starting to look like we have got ourselves a race here.
Yep. Scott just a few seconds off of a sub-10 Varia, which is extremely good. So very good good start for Scott. Eddie, really that was the only hiccup that we've seen, because that 830 some alpha PP's time is also really good for Fantoon first route.
Did you say 831? Is that what you saw?
835 maybe? 830 something.
Yeah, no, that's phenomenal. And I want to say something like 25 seconds in
the
moat.
moat room. Yeah.
So yeah, kind of an equalizer, I think. We'll see how this goes.
Scott is smartly getting this crate E-tank. This costs time now, but it saves so much time later in reduced farming and a lot. It helps a lot in safety situations too.
All right, good first round. Looks like a slow second round for Eddie. As phatscott's picking up his high jump and high jump E-tank. And it looks like Eddie taking it to a 3-round fight. I don't know if he missed
kind of scammed on drops too. 1 missile? Come on, Fantoon.
Yeah, he probably started the round without enough to finish it off.
It looked like he hit the flames and got like all health drops. It's just not normal. Unless you're in health bomb, which he was not.
Yeah. It will help now. It is all the resources are still important right now in Fantoon first. Decent supers. And good power bombs. So Eddie's well set up on resources. Okay, phatscott will head across Upper Norfair, one of the more challenging segments of any percent, in my opinion. Just a lot of precision and a lot of potential for bonks. If a lot of things that jut out that you have to run around quite carefully.
Yeah, that's a great point. It's not difficult to survive, but it is difficult to move fast.
Okay, nice charge shot to kill King Cac before the jump, and then a deboost. So very nice Bubble Mountain from phatscott there.
Eddie getting a little trolled in attic here, but does at least have ammo. That last hit, not good though. He's probably going to want to power bomb in the attic so that he can get some guaranteed drops and no hits. We might even see him farm this bug, although this bug is...
Yeah, I would expect a couple. Pancakes and Waivers, I find it to be pretty stingy on health, especially when you need it.
Yeah, that is true, because he only has 1 power bomb too, so if he doesn't get much drops in the first...
Oof. Speaking of stingy on health. Yeah, did I commentators curse?
No, that's what this bug does. This is barely enough, by the way. He needs at least 121. Okay.
Yeah, okay, good drops.
Should be okay now.
Pancakes. Okay, good first and good second flat deboost, and he's across. Excellent. Yeah, and still, even though he got some health drops, 181 is what you need to have an extra hit in there. So those were both must-make deboosts. to survive the run. No pressure, Eddie.
They're not too bad if you've done them a bunch of times, which Eddie, of course, at 80% grind. Many reps on those deboosts. It's not that you could never fail them, but I mean, you're going to get them 99 out of 100. I would think the amount he's practiced them.
All right, something like a 1446 grav from Eddie. Fat Scott heading back out of Upper North Fair.
Yep, so we should see a high five somewhere along this route. The runners are heading toward each other.
Yeah, Eddie now with 2 power bombs and not too worried about his health as he will pick up an E-tank soon. And good supers, actually, he ended up with very good resources there after some drama in Attic.
Yeah, but kind of demonstrating the benefit of having just that extra E-tank, because it wasn't an option on his route, but if you somehow had an extra E-tank there, you wouldn't have to spend any of that time farming instead of the 15-20 seconds it was.
Yeah, very true. The perils of that minute and a half you get for doing it comes with just risk on top of risk.
Meanwhile, Scott having plenty of energy, so goes for the opposite mark and gets it. Now we have one of the nicest rooms in all of Super Metroid speedrunning, the KPDR Red Tower.
Yep.
Oh, I was so close.
So close.
I thought he had it. It's really clean when you get that.
Nice backup,
good backup though. Yeah. That really doesn't lose that much time when you back it up that well.
Yeah, it's all those rippers on a room timer though. So once they start getting out of sequence, or excuse me, not on a local timer. So they get triggered when Samus goes near them. So you can rely on their sequence the first run up the tower, but after that they start getting out of sync. You've got to, you've kind of got to improvise your play and your wall jumps pretty well to not take a hit, especially with high jump.
And we do see Eddie going for the PKRD route. This makes a lot of sense. It doesn't. I want to say if you get really good drops, it barely loses any time too. Like most of the time loss is just having to refill your supers after Ridley. Whereas with PRKD, Crate provides a nice super refill for you. Mini crates, basically.
Yeah, the farm at the Crocomire Wave Gate is not horrible. Just the one right to the right of Frog Speedway.
Mm-hmm.
But you can still eat 10 or 15 seconds to fill them back up.
Eddie with just enough health to avoid health bomb range here. Who has really good resources anyway. I almost want health.
Yeah,
well,
he's gonna get
the high jump tank, so or crate tank. Let's see if he remembers the crate tank. And I missed it. Did Scott do a 2-spark there? I missed what he did specifically.
Yeah, I was also channelized on the Kraid fight. I know he's got 1 power bomb though. We'll see if we get a nice pop tune. 1 round here, or 2 round.
Yeah, this is a lot less scary with the only taking 20 damage per hit instead of 40 for Scott.
And Scott opting for a Doppler for the first round. I don't know if just the pop tune setup was not good or he wanted to save the power bomb.
I'm not sure. He might not go for pop tune. Although he does have. Well, maybe he just has wave, like it's not because of the pop tune, it's just that's the BBS.
Yeah.
You don't need to get Spazer in this route. And you get Ice later.
So very nice quick 3 round to clean it up.
Solid 3 round. Eddie did get the crate tank. pre-opens the ice door.
About to get very stacked on health. Would you say these are good resources for Fat Scott? I think 126 is plenty of energy.
Yeah, I mean the health does feel low, but as long as you're not going for like the spark attic, it's fine. Which I'm not sure Scott goes for that anyway. I think most people will go for that spark attic, have a backup and plan anyway, because getting low health like this is somewhat common.
The backup being close your eyes and press and hold right. I'm trying to think how else I would do bowling in that scenario. A D-boost, I guess.
Oh, but, I was thinking about this one here.
Oh, I'm sorry, the attic spark. Yeah.
I mean, you could do the D-boost too. For some people, do the D-boost instead of the spark, but I think Scott will do the spark with this health. I think it's better. Eddie getting his ice escape, heading over to get his speed booster. Scott is just going to do the run and don't even do the D-boost thing, just run and jump. And you can do that with 2. It's tight. You hit only twice, but getting through it 3 hits. Pretty easy as long as you don't overthink it. You just don't. You either want to try for the D-boost or you just don't. Do not go halfway.
Yeah, and even I'm trying to remember if Varia reduces spike damage or not. I want to say it does.
It does. Yeah. Oh, yeah, he would not have been able to survive 3 hits without that Varia suit. So it's kind of low on health. Yeah, that's a good point. Chat's making that. You could do there's an Everest pseudo screw strat you can do to conserve health there. There's also the cax. As long as Scott maintains his full 10 supers, he should get health drops from those cac attacks. Which, when you reliable full health is worth getting, I think, especially with low health.
It looks like a slight interruption to Eddie's stream.
Yeah, we had an interruption from Scott as well, so I don't know if that's just a Twitch thing, SpeedGaming thing. Oh, it looks like it's back already. So yeah, that's no big deal. We didn't miss anything too important there.
No, Eddie heading to Wave Beam, and then Scott farming up a little bit for Meridia.
Yeah, we are coming up to some important sections with Meridia, Bachun, Dragon for Scott, and then Eddie's got the Fantian first, Lower Norfair. Even with that extra tank, still a fair amount that can go wrong. I think Eddie usually goes for Lava Spark, so I'm curious to see that. It's always a cool trick.
Yeah, at his consistency with 3 tanks, no reason not to. With 2, it can definitely end a run if you miss it. But I think with the health he's got right now, he can miss it, do the gravity jump, and still be fine.
Yep, and even has the Varia to boot, so it wouldn't be penalized too harshly. Doing D-boost off of the... I guess that thing only does 15 damage.
Oh, did he D-boost off the Namahe Flame?
Yeah.
The Fune Flame, I should say.
Oh, did not?
Nope. So, wow, yeah, right to the backup with no hesitation. Just a quick D-boost down.
And still D-boosting off the Namahe.
Yes.
And that was different then, right? So that Fune only did 15, but that Namahe did 50?
Yeah, the Namahe's hit a lot harder.
It's like the same projectile.
They're only 3 rooms apart. Come on. Okay, Fat's got decent Meridia entry. Meridia, interestingly, and misses particle
Got
on Botwoon.
Yep, did not quite hit that.
Just a nice painful wait there. Still good supers though.
Yeah, but it definitely is harder to land him sometimes. This helps him stop there for a minute. Because this not having the full beam, even not having the full new route beam here, it makes it a little bit slower sometimes. Alright, got through it.
Yeah, Eddie meanwhile power bombing through pillars. That means he's going to have to remember to save one extra for Wasteland or be forced to go get the PBs of Shame. Good worst room though, so still on a good pace.
Yeah, that's the key. You really want to hit that worst room. And also, since he used the power bombs, he wouldn't even have another power bomb to use for worst room without having to like resort to go to fire phase or something.
Yeah, no backup there after you power bomb through pillars.
Nice full halfie for phatscott.
Oh, and he's got him selected now. Ooh. That's gonna cost, I think, if my math is right. Yeah,
that's a PB's of shame there?
I think so. I was wondering if I was about to be surprised by some tech I didn't know. But I think that's just a muscle memory lower Norfair run. I've certainly done it.
Yep, this is where the PBs of shame get their name from.
Okay, decent rain dance from phatscott for Dragon. I don't think he got all of it, but looking decent.
Yeah, I think Dragon's got to be pretty close here.
Yeah, 300 or 400. There we go, 200. Very nice.
Yeah, other than that little hiccup at Botwoon, it's been pretty good Meridia for phatscott. I think Dragon can easily be the bigger of the time losses, so I would take that personally.
Yeah, Ridley fights. It's like each mistake just loses you. It's 1 or 2 seconds, and you can continue to not make any more.
Right, as long as you're not like dying or something. Which,
yeah,
with 2 full tanks, Eddie would have to make several mistakes. This is not really a risk here unless he goes super aggressive.
Yeah, but you're absolutely correct, Idle, on Dragon. You start taking detours there, and it gets weird in a hurry.
Yeah, you start running out of health. You can't do sparks anymore. You don't have ammo. It can go bad.
No. Yeah, I think most runners I've talked to say they've spent more time in Dragon boss fight practice than any others. Okay, chant it with me. Plasma spark. Plasma spark.
Oh.
Oh.
It looked like he went for like the down press and just didn't charge the spark for some reason. Maybe he pressed early, I'm not sure. Okay, Eddie's should be fine, but
yeah, a little lower than I would want to be.
Yeah. Eddie?
Okay.
Gosh.
Hold.
Yeah. I think that was within a tail hit.
No, he's got to grab Ridley tank here, right? He's not going to exit with 92 health. That would be irresponsible.
Oh man, Scott's having a little bit of trouble in this plasma room.
Yeah, there we go. Got him. All in all, I think a pretty good Dragon and good Meridia, though.
Yeah, I think Eddie would still be ahead because Scott has had a couple of slip-ups in Meridia as well. But Eddie's had to pick up this extra tank here. He's already doing the PKRD instead of PRKD. A little bit of trouble at boat. I had Wolf farming at Attic. Yeah, but we do have to remember that his overall room-to-room movement. You mentioned losing a half second every other room. So we would still think Eddie's probably ahead, even with all that.
There's another 3.5 for Speedball. Yeah, it might be close. Again, no, I don't have good cues to call it yet.
Eddie definitely needs to have a reasonable brain here.
Okay, Scott entering Lower Norfair with entering Norfair with 6 supers, I should say.
Just to see if Eddie, if he does these rooms cleanly enough, will he skip Botchwoon Tank? You don't normally have this much energy.
Yeah. Yes, I would expect in this setting.
Because it is a good refill, but at the same time, like, Botchwoon tends to give you tons of health, so he might not need it. Sorry, I cut you off there.
No, you're good. And yeah, I think you're right. I want to say the practice hack starts you with like 350 for a Dragon fight or something along those lines. So it should be within the norms of what Eddie can handle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, chat's saying that I think Eddie's significantly ahead, and that makes sense. You know, with the movement advantage Eddie would have on and the route being fast.
Yeah, good point, Nebdy making that Eddie has killed Kraid already. So it's even if there were good cues to look at, you're not going to have the same normal ones because that's about, I want to say 2 minutes. Kraid in and out, 210, something like that.
Sounds about right.
That he's already knocked off the time.
I thought Eddie tried to break this too earlier. Maybe he ran out of the room too quickly, or maybe that was Scott who did it. I don't remember for sure now.
Eddie did have the power bombs, yeah. That must have been uncomfortable. If you manage a frame perfect miss of that strat and leave that room on the frame the power bomb explodes, you will soft lock the game and be done.
Yep. Frame perfect tragedy.
It's not one you usually want to cut close enough that you miss it in a race setting.
It seems like that one happens more in races than it does in just regular runs too, for some reason.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable to think about. Okay, worse room. A little more forgiving of mistakes, but still very technical to do it well, and very nicely done by Fat Scott.
Clean,
along with a nice platoon. Yeah, very
clean. And full health, so very likely skipping this tank here.
There it is.
Scott hit the full halfy earlier. Can Eddie match it?
Looks good, looks clean.
Down grab was a bit off, but he's just got good enough movement to make it anyway. These runners, I need to have everything perfect. I can't have any little hitch in the down grab or it's all over.
Yeah, I've probably actually done a full halfy 2 or 3 times in practice myself. That trick is hard. I usually just take the first half and be happy.
Yeah, that's not bad, getting the regular halfy.
Okay, Eddie doing the same variant of Rain Dance as Fat Scott did. Looks good. And getting the slightly faster pattern number 2. Oh. Followed by a spark.
Still fine.
And a grab. No. Still
He's
fine.
still got plenty of health, though, so this is just time loss at the moment.
Yeah, this is now, it's just a matter of being patient, seeing what Dragon does, and choosing the right thing. Very nicely done. Nice recovery.
That's a very, very good recovery. It has decent ammo, so it's just going to run out. Meanwhile, Sky has started his Ridley fight. This is, I mean, it's still Ridley, but only 20 shots needed. So it doesn't really matter that Scott's already getting kind of low on health because his fight will be over in probably another 5 shots here, maybe 7. I think Ridley is dead.
Yeah, and down to 63. Both players taking the health down a little low on Ridley.
Yeah. Now Scott doesn't probably need the E-Tank though. With that plasma beam, has so many more options to get out of here safely.
He can hitbox enemies, and he's got Varia, so some other damage will be a bit less.
I mean, he might just kill the 3 Musketeers, especially at this health.
You can just kill him too. You're very, very true. Okay, Eddie on the Meridia exit, and we'll see. I would say when you hit Red Tower elevator up, that's about 9 minutes from your finish time in this route.
I think that's right.
So, yeah, so 40, mid 44, I think.
Yep.
And yeah, definitely ahead, but again, that 40-second handicap for the beam going to Fat Scott as well, so we'll see when he gets a little closer to G4 how it's looking. I don't want to say it could come down to a baby skip, but I think we're in the neighborhood.
I think we're maybe in the neighborhood next to the neighborhood.
Yeah,
like
yeah, that's a good
kind of close to that, but
I don't want to say it.
I think we were saying Scott's 80% PB is in the 45, and if we think Eddie's on a 44 pace,
yeah,
we don't think Scott is on PB pace. He's having a good run, but he's had a couple of mistakes here and there that.
Yeah, true. I think he did not get a spike suit on the way out of Meridia, and as you said, a few
little trouble with bot tune and stuff. So it's not been perfect, which I suppose no run is.
Yeah, Fat Scott, I believe, did PB earlier, either in the tournament or in prep on this route. So he is on the march. But I think you're right. A 1 minute plus PB in a tournament setting is rare, shall we say.
I didn't see if Eddie picked up any. I assume he got 20 missiles. We'll have to watch the ammo. Mother Brain, it's not. You don't want to get overconfident. You don't want to start thinking, I have an extra tank, I can do whatever I want, because that's a good way to get double ketchup.
Oh, yeah.
But
yeah,
certainly Eddie's in the driver's seat here.
I'm sorry, say that one again?
Oh, sorry. I certainly Eddie's in the driver's seat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. Needs to not get completely scammed by Metroids, but three supers is better than 1. It's not. This is not terrible for 80%.
Yeah, 3 is doable. You can afford, a couple of 1 second or 2 second time losses as needed to farm them back up. Oh, now 3 to 8 in Metroid 1.
Jeez.
As we were.
Already full.
Well, you gotta love that. I would say he's earned it and had his share of close calls this run so far. Okay, easy full 20 and 10 with 4 tanks heading into Baby Skip. Pistachio skip, but the single bomb approach looks good. Very nice.
I thought kind of low to the door, but it worked. So it must have been fine.
Yeah, it looked a couple frames away from a grab, pretty close, but.
Chat calling for 3 jump. That 3 jump is really precise, not race safe.
Okay, and Fat Scott probably on pace for a mid 46. Y'all be better at judging KPDR than I will.
No, I think that makes sense.
720-ish, yeah.
All right, no turret scams for Eddie. Did not bother to save, but doesn't really need to save. And it is one of those things, like, if you needed to save, it would actually be pretty close, like, to where maybe the save doesn't even help you.
Yeah, you're not wrong in any percent when it's that close. It would have to be probably a pretty early death to Mother Brain, or a a miss on Mother Brain 1 is all you'd really protecting against there. After you're like 30 seconds or more into the Mother Brain 2 fight, that's
right.
The die is cast. Yeah, Fat Scott, meanwhile, nice clean Turian, nothing crazy. Getting through M4. While Eddie dodges catch up. Eddie very carefully damaging down. So what is the danger there, Idle? I should know this one and I don't. If you I usually just run full tilt into Mother Brain's leg.
Yep, and that will work.
Try to take a single hit.
That will work pretty much every time. Just don't turn around. That's the only danger, is that you, for whatever reason, decide, I'm going to turn around now. And what can happen is you actually start doing a damage boost. Oh, Scott couldn't grab there at the last minute. And if you damage boost, because you'll turn, and as you're turning, you take the damage instead of taking the damage first.
Okay, so you just take the hit, the normal knockback, and you're fine.
Yeah, and you don't try to time your turnaround to like, oh, I got hit now, turn around. You just don't ever turn around. You stop moving left. So yeah, you run into Mother Brain, and then you just let go of left. And,
easy day.
And sometimes I let go of left a little early, and I only take a 30 damage instead of a 60, so you just got to do it again. But as long as you never turn right, you just stop moving left. I think you never have a problem. There might be some categories where maybe you don't have both suits, and you get to be worried about taking potentially 120 damage, and then you got to be a little bit more careful, do what Eddie was doing there. But
yes,
just don't turn. Wait until you're all done. You see you've taken the hit. You stop moving, then you can turn.
Yeah, maybe that is just a more standardized approach for runners, and Eddie does a lot of different categories. A lot of rando work, a lot of arcade work, where you can see this fight with no suits, or one suit. So just a very, very precise, consistent way of doing it, and you do certainly have the time. I was going to say, near flawless Mother Brain 3 from Eddie. He took one hit toward the end, but that was clean.
Eddie trying to do this short charge.
I saw Samus's legs moving pretty fast there. It was close.
Yeah, he's done it once before, at least, in the vanilla Mother Brain fight setting. I don't remember which race that was in. Very difficult trick to do even once in your life, even in practice. Because I think it requires like a double stutter tap or something.
Yeah, it's more than one stutter and a 4-tap, that I know. I couldn't tell you what the optimal number of stutters is, but it's the kind of thing a machine would do.
And it's purely for show, too. I'm not aware of any category where you can do a short charge that tight. And I can only think of one where it's even a backup, and you've screwed up if you even need to do it. So it's just not something. But if you want to show off.
Yeah, I'm familiar with, for randos, the Main Street supers, I think, or Main Street Missiles. And then one tile less than that is Indiana Jones if you happen to have no other way to get across that room, which is rare. At 44:41 on the clock for Eddie. Hang on, look at the racetime.gg.
Yeah, 44:42 in race time. By the way, GG.
GG's Eddie.
Taking the first race. This was Eddie's pick. So to recap the picks, it was Scott banning Low Ice and Eddie banning Max GT, as he's done every match this tournament. And then Eddie picked 80%. There was some commentary on chat, like why did Scott ban Low Ice? That would be good against Eddie. Yeah, it's possible that Scott doesn't have as much familiarity with that category. Eddie, I tried Low Ice against Eddie, and you know what? He did the Mother Brain fight first try. So if you can do that, you know, I think that Eddie would have good chances of taking it, even the Low Ice. So I understand that veto.
Yeah, I would say at his level, Eddie is easily a contender for like the most diverse, having the most breadth of experience for a top 10 runner, with his success in map rando, his success in arcade. He doesn't have times in every category in this tournament, but for someone most likely to be able to pick one up and do well at it on minimal prep, Eddie would be a strong contender.
I wonder if we're going to see Scott. Sky Expo Scott might go for GT Classic, though Eddie's very familiar with GT Classic as well. Like Eddie would be probably happy if Scott chose GT Classic.
Yeah, their times are, I want to say, within 20 or 30 seconds in that category. They're close.
Mm-hmm. Funny, Scott is I don't know if he's played a lot of Hundo lately, but historically he's been a big fan of Hundo. And maybe he'd pick that, even though Eddie would have him significantly outclassed from a PvP perspective. But at the same time, Eddie probably really doesn't want to run Hundo. So maybe it's a gamesmanship, like get you out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, chat saying Eddie is praying that Scott does not pick Hundo. So I don't know if phatscott been running it recently either, but like you say, he is closer to Eddie in that category than most of the others. No, Scott is no slouch indeed. Both these runners, if it seems at all like an uneven comparison, I mean, one, Eddie is phenomenal, but anybody with anything approaching a 45 in any percent that has put a phenomenal amount of time and effort into getting good at this game. 47:20 is incredibly respectable time for any percent.
GG's for phatscott finishing as well. And yeah, I might have, I guess I'd use the word outclass. I think that might be a little strong, because I think phatscott have a 118 Hundo. He might have a good Hundo time himself. I think Eddie's his PB is still faster, but
yeah, no, sub 120.
Sub 120 is phenomenal. It's great.
In a race setting, like we're here to expect good entertainment from any of these categories. Could go either way today.
All right. Well, we will take a quick break, as the runners will take a break as well, and we'll see. Oh, yeah, I guess we do know what the second race is going to be. Do you want me to announce it?
Sure.
It is going to be GT Classic.
GT Classic for race 2. Okay.
I'm spoiling too, DJ. We're both spoiling. We're both announcing it before the second race is before we even close the episode here. Oh, Eddie's trying to spoil himself. He's got it up on his screen.
Quick practice session before the race.
We'll take a quick break, and we'll come back when the racers are ready.
Sounds good, Idle. See you soon.